On this episode of Star Trek Universe, it is episode 300, and we're going to discuss some news for Strange New Worlds, Year 1, Scouts, a possible update on Legacy, but not really, another possible merger, some feedback, other thing. There's a lot. Right after these words from our mystery sponsors.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Welcome to Star Trek Universe, the podcast where you can listen in on two lifelong friends sit and chat for so many episodes, 300 in fact.
Yeah.
About Star Trek. My name is Matthew Carroll.
I'm David C. Robertson.
Congrats on 300, bud.
Yeah, man. You too.
Yeah, I know there's a number I haven't been on with you doing episodes with Effie, but still, the show itself with 300 episodes. So it's probably like, 250 for me or something. So, you're really the 300 man.
I know.
So congrats.
I know.
Thank you guys for being here with us.
Yeah.
So, I want it to be just a fun look back at a good time of making this show, but it's not going to be because of the merger talk we'll have a little later.
Oh
boy, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So let's jump into the fun stuff first.
Kinda. So Strange New Worlds. We've got some interesting thoughts here because Trek Movie has been talking to Goldsman and Myers, the showrunners for Strange New Worlds. And they had a conversation with them about Terrarium that I wanted to bring up.
That was the one where they put the Enemy Mine episode, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So in July they had told Trek Movie, quote, "We'll chase an idea that Arena, the TOS episode, could feel brand new by the time we get to Arena." That was a quote.
Okay.
So they did say that Terrarium was that idea. And of course, episode 309 ended with a Metron revealing they had arranged Ortega's and a Gorn to crash land together as an experiment. And then after watching Ortega's work with and befriend the Gorn, and then only to see Lan kill it, the Metron told her, quote, "They need more data to determine if the human and the Gorn will ever find peace. You won't remember me, and perhaps someday we may need to reset your perception of the Gorn as well." And Goldsman confirmed that this Terrarium twist is how they have reframed both Arena and the Gorn, explaining, "There's a suggestion that the memories of the Gorn are being tampered with by the Metron, and that they may be tampered with again in the future. So the idea being that potentially there has been another encounter between what we just saw in Terrarium and Arena, and as a result of that encounter, all memory of the Gorn has been wiped. Except for the fact that Batel was talking about having the Gorn inside of her. Like, they remembered that.
Well, I think he said we may have to wipe. May have to reset your perception. So I'm assuming what they're saying in that quote is that by the time of Arena...
Oh, okay.
Some of these things have been erased, but that's just such silliness, man. That's it
is.
I don't know.
And once again, I point to the skeleton of the TOS Gorn in Lorca's chambers on Discovery.
Right. It's also just working really hard to you retcon something.
Mm-hmm.
We don't love it when you retcon something, but retconning the retcon. I don't know, unless you do it in a really clever way, similar to what they did with maybe the Klingons in Enterprise with the different head ridges, stuff like that. There's been a few moments where retconning a retcon worked, but this just seems really ham-fisted to be we may have to change your perception.
Yeah,
I don't love that. I don't love it.
Both showrunners confirmed that, yes, this explains why Kirk doesn't seem to know the Gorn in Arena. Henry Myers added more detail about what they were aiming to do with Terrarium and the Gorn. Part of what we tried to do is set up a future us problem and suggest to the viewers that there are stories you have not yet seen. We have set up the idea there are stories you have not yet seen that will tell you the story. If you keep watching our show, you will get to experience those stories. That's the goal. It's the goal of every fucking TV show ever.
Well, I think what he's talking about is the fact that we realize it's a prequel, but we want to let you know that we can still surprise you. It sounds like what he's saying. That's the way I'm interpreting those words.
That's what he's trying to say, maybe.
Yeah, but he's worse at it than me.
But he also said that they're done with the Gorn, so...
Okay. Well, this idea that they're resetting whatever so that we can tell you stories. He's basically saying there are stories you don't know, which is to say, like, you don't know everything about these characters. We can still surprise you. Okay, sure, but you can just do that. You don't have to, like, this is totally unnecessary for us to feel like there might be surprises you can tell us in the backgrounds of these characters. Also, the show's full of characters we don't know the outcome of. I mean, less and less as it goes on, but there are characters we don't know the outcomes of.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we have some season 3 finale thoughts with them. Trek, also from Trek Movie, who said, this was a big episode for Pike, very inner light. Presumably that was your thought. Oh yes, very much so, they say. The question here, unlike TNG, this isn't going to reset for him. This must have a huge impact for Pike through the rest of the series, or does it? By the way, it did not reset on TNG. It did not reset on TNG. Picard had several little moments, and his character did change.
Yeah,
after the inner light.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just like all Next Generation episodes, it sort of resets to factory settings at the end of the episode to where, like, mostly things don't change in a major way, but there are slight elements to that like continue on. Like, I think the character has changed, and like that flute, I believe, is still in his like ready room the rest of the show, sort of giving you the idea that he's still dealing with the memories of that life. It's not like the memories were taken away, I guess.
Right, he still plays the flute.
Right.
Yeah. Goldsman says, the thing that really bummed me out about the structure of network television in the old days is TOS's City on the Edge of Forever. At the end, Edith Keeler is dead and Jim Kirk is broken, and then the next week he's fine. So obviously, what we're trying to do here with continuity of relationship across episodes is to have emotional moves for them to, for good or ill, stick. So on the one hand, of course it will. And he's also not going to turn into somebody who isn't Captain Pike. He is an optimist. He gets through trauma. He will work. He will continue to solve the problem. And continue to explore space and be the captain that he is now informed by that loss. That's fine. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Because they've said it's happening, I don't believe it will.
I want to say this. I meant to say this in our coverage of the finale. That moment that we had seen in the trailer where it was like, is this a hit situation, Captain? Uh-huh. That moment did not work for us in the trailer, and we hated it. It actually really worked for me in the episode.
It did not work for me in the episode.
It worked for me a lot because it wasn't his friends picking on him about having a catchphrase. It was his friends trying to, like, cheer him up by getting him back to normalcy. And, like, it worked because Batel had just died. It was the last thing of the season, and it was him dealing with that death. Not death, like, whatever, permanent ice sculpture version of her. And, like... He had just lost her. He had the whole inner light thing. Like, all of this is going on. They're worried about him. There's a clear, like, there's an undercurrent to that moment that is them being silly and sort of picking on him for having a catchphrase sort of thing instead of what I thought it was, which was just another moment where they're going to talk about a catchphrase. It was sort of them picking on him to try to, like, bring some normalcy to the moment that he's going through. You know what I mean? And it really worked for me in a way I did not expect it to.
Yeah. No, I'm just sick of the goofy catchphrase shit.
I am too. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think this was. I did not think that moment worked like we expected it to. And it annoys me they put it in the trailer because, like, it made me think that moment was going to be just the same old shit. But I do think they did something different with it, and I appreciated it.
Yeah, I think I'm just tired of all of it. I'm just tired of all the catchphrase stuff.
Right. I get
like it undercuts the seriousness of it to me.
I get that. And I get that, and most of the time it does me too. Most of the time it just like, people have things they say, and like, you might make fun of a thing your friend says. And that's the thing, like, most of the time when you talk about building a catchphrase, they're like, what are you going to say when you get in the chair? Like, that feels cheesy to me. When your friends pick on you for having a catchphrase, it feels normal to me. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? There's like a very big difference there. Like, my friends, like, whatever, I say friend a lot. I go, what's up, friend? Like, especially back in the day. And you make fun of me for saying that. Like, you go, when you do an impression of me, you go,
well, years ago, yes.
Yes, friend. and like, that was your impression of me. And like, that's what this felt like. As opposed
it wasn't mine, right?
It was Miller.
That was Jeremy's thing. Jeremy and Miller were both doing friend, and I was like, what is that? And they were like, oh, it's Matt. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then at some point, I like, because of them, I noticed that you said it a lot, and I was like, they're right.
Yeah, I would call my friend's friend, and I think I still do that to some degree, and maybe not to the extent. But anyway, like, so that felt like those moments. Like, if I had just lost someone, and you were trying to cheer me up and trying to bring normalcy, and came to me and like, gonna be all right, friend. Like, you know, like that sort of thing, like just sort of trying to cut through the tragedy with a little comedy and friendship, you know? So I just it didn't feel the same to me as the old stuff did.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I don't love it, but I get it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Fair.
Okay, they asked the showrunners, we saw Pike's sort of alternate type future, but to be clear, he still can't avoid this fate. And they're like, yep, his fate is his fate. That's all happened in 1 second. Yeah. They asked, with Batel, how long did you know you were going to do this to her? And did Melanie know, the actress? They said, we knew her art from the beginning of the season. I cast her in the pilot because I directed it. She was just great, just amazing. And so we were like, oh, there's a real thing here. So we brought her back. But by the time we were running into the end of season 2, which is really the beginning of season 3 in terms of the two-parter, we were like, oh, here's a thing to do. So we hired her for a one-season arc, and Mel knew from the beginning. Oh, what did you call that statue? What did you just call it?
Ice sculpture. I was just teasing.
Ice sculpture. Well, when I saw it, I was like, Nickelodeon Floam.
Yeah,
because it's like the little plastic thing with like the little floam. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I remember Floam.
Let's
Speaking
see.
of Nickelodeon, there's a transition here.
It'll get there. They asked, you didn't want Pike to be basically married by the time he had his accident, and they were like, correct. And then there's that Vena stuff one has to deal with. You sons of bitches.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense that, like, you know, he has a long life, that he may have had other relationships before the accident and before Vena. Just, yeah, makes sense.
As Henry is fond of saying, it's just trying to give you a different view of the moments you know are to come. I don't want a different view of the moments I know are to come. And by enriching his experience and making it complex and giving him a love of his life, which we then snatch away from him, and with the inner light structure, so that there is an inflection point in time, so we can do all of that and then bring him right back to the timeline. This was a weird thing that I saw people talking about online, and they asked, regarding Batel's eyes, was there some kind of Gary Mitchell connection, or was that just the visual effects?
I was wondering that too. Is it? It reminded me of I think Gary Mitchell. I think that's the one I was thinking of too.
And they said, no, there's not, but isn't it delightful? That just happened. We didn't do that on purpose. The visual effects, sometimes we are very specific, and then they just show off with a thing, and you go, oh, that's cool. And with that, we just thought it was cool. I never understood the people saying Gary Mitchell, because Gary Mitchell had silver eyes. They didn't look like the universe was.
Yeah. They look similar to me, and that's what I thought of when I saw the episode. And I meant to talk about it in the episode, but I agree with you. They're not the same. And I just thought maybe, like, I could never really tell what was going on up close with Gary Mitchell's eyes, and so when I saw that, it looked very similar to me. But looking at pictures now, even, it looked like if it were the fidelity of it, the picture I'm looking at, like I could imagine that it is the universe if I pulled in closer, you know. But yeah, it may have been just silver.
Yeah, no, I didn't get that. I didn't think about that at all. And then everybody started talking about it. I was like, what is happening? What did I miss?
Wonder how they did that effect in the old days, that silver-eyed effect.
Oh, they were awful, like painted contact lenses.
Ooh, painted contact lenses.
From what I understand, yeah. From what I remember. You can actually look it up on Where No Man Has Gone Before, that episode on Memory Alpha. They'll talk about it. Me and Effie talked about it.
Okay.
Whatever it was. I thought it was painted contact lenses. I might be wrong. I know they were painful.
Looks painful.
Let's see. Question. One little surprise for us was the Vezda didn't end up being a callback to canon like the Pa Wraiths or something like that. So they are totally your own new thing. And Goldsman says, yeah, they are not canon. Well, they are now, I guess. But they are not anything previously found in canon. But you guys do love a canon callback. So how do you decide when to do something like bring in Q or whatever versus here making something new? And Meyer said, having made the Gorn be the bad guys for several seasons... Not several. One of the things that Akiva had this notion that by season 3, you want to run into something that is surprising and new and different. Akiva had a notion that you want to run into things that are surprising and new and different. And causes you to see these things that you just went through differently. We knew where we were going emotionally with the Gorn, and by the time you get, you kind of get there emotionally if you want to continue to explore the idea of evil in the universe, you need to run into it in a different way. And so that was the goal with the Vezda. Let's see if we can create a character that can continue to allow us to explore that idea. But we really wanted to make it a completely different type of species from the Gorn. We're exploring it in a very different way. And then they said, so you're not done with the Vezda? And he laughs and says, we're done with the Vezda like we were done with the Gorn. But on Henry's point, there's a kind of movement to Star Trek if you think about it, which is we meet something, it's other, it's evil, and then we start to get connected to it, and we touch points where we find empathy, and that's what Star Trek does. And at the same time, what we never want to do is say there is no evil out there, so we keep evil alive in our starscape. I included all that for you specifically because I wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah. The evil stuff specifically, I do have thoughts, but I think you always need conflict in your stories. You don't always need evil. Is my thought on evil. My thought on these overall quotes is like I almost don't want to hear interviews with these people because like I really, you called them hacks last episode, and
that's what I'm illustrating here. I feel.
I think this season has felt very hacky. There have been some episodes that are liked. There have been some episodes that worked well. There have been some episodes that like stuck true to sort of a Star Trek formula that works, and I've enjoyed them. But the episodes for the overall, like I don't feel like they kind of knew what they were doing writing wise, and especially in the bigger moments that were supposed to really pay off things, and hearing him describe like you said, like Akiva had this notion that you want something new, and it's like, yeah,
the strangest.
What a strange notion. The Strange New Worlds. Yeah, the show is called Strange New Worlds. Like the whole seek out new life and new civilizations. Yeah. Like, come on, man. Of course we want something new. We also enjoy a callback. Fan service is fan service for a reason. We love when they serve us, but you gotta also challenge us and also do new things. And a lot of this feels like them just retreading old ground and not really challenging the viewer in any real way. So yeah. And yeah, but the evil stuff, like I've said, I generally think it works better when you don't ever make anything purely evil. You give it its own purpose. So some things can, I mean, the Borg, for instance, the Borg are as close to evil as I think we've ever had in Star Trek. But they're not. They just have their purpose and they're doing their thing. Like they have their purpose to replicate and like take in new in their own way, they're seeking new life and new civilization. They just want to own it and like incorporate it into themselves because they think they're building this perfect species through technology. And like that's an interesting force to come up against, but it's not evil. It's just like a freaking bug colony or whatever. But it's incredibly fascinating. And like, how do you deal with it and how do you negotiate with it? And all these things are interesting. But yeah, just to say something, there's like this great evil that exists does not really work for me.
Yeah. I mean, canonically, you know, like I said last episode, they have absolutely had just fucking straight up malevolent, evil entities.
Sure.
Without any explanation. But, you know, it doesn't, those things don't make me feel like I've watched anything good.
Sure. Well, and like I said last week, you can have an entity bent on doing evil, but acting like evil as a concept is a thing separated from one of those beings feels stupid to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Evil is choices, and like you might be a superpowered super being making evil choices, but evil is still choices.
Yeah,
being made by creatures.
Yeah. They did confirm that when they wrote it, they thought this might be the series finale.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That would be... that makes sense. I definitely see it with all the... with the inner light part makes more sense if it was a series finale, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like we got to do something to close this out and give him a little bit of happiness before he goes off to his doom.
I'm like, I didn't love it, but you know what? If it had been the series finale, it would have been better than These Are the Voyages from Enterprise.
Yeah, true.
Fucking Riker is chef and the holodeck bullshit. They asked, did Pelia know the Doctor from Doctor Who? And they said she apparently knew the Doctor from Doctor Who.
Good Lord. All right. Sweet.
They said, are we going to get a full Pelia episode? And they said, I don't know. I don't think we're getting a Pelia episode. She has she runs throughout the season. Help.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it sounds like they know there are characters that work in small doses in a show and don't work as to carry an episode. And I think she's one of those.
Yeah. Now they've said several times, and I talked about this a little bit last episode. And now I've seen at least 4 different times in 4 different interviews where they said season 4 is going to be better because we had staffing changes and we had to shut down in the middle of a strike in season 3. And the strike caused change, and those things are real, and we had to shut down everything. They've been like really banging the drum on how we promised season 4 is going to be better. So, and blaming the strike.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out. Goldsman said, we just had more time for season 4. And they said about the cast for season 4, we were able to find new ways to get the best from them. We know our cast deeply. We knew a lot of people's strengths. We were able to lean into their strengths and have them try things that they hadn't gotten to try that we could see on screen. The usual thing that we talk about on the show is that when we're having fun, it's usually a good sign. And season 4 was really, really fun. I don't feel good about that. I don't like when they have fun because the stuff that they talk about is so fun. I always go, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Except for the Lower Decks crossover, that was fun.
That was really fun.
That was great.
I enjoyed a lot of the fun. I enjoyed the musical episode.
I don't think I did.
I think I enjoy a lot of the fun stuff, but like it kind of. I'm fine with the fun episodes as long as you give me meaty episodes in between. You know, like you gotta have the balance felt off this season particularly.
Mm-hmm. I'm impressed by Trek movie on if Sulu or McCoy will show up and if it will be in season 4 or 5. Goldsman would only say, we cannot confirm or deny. Do you really want to know what's going to happen in season 4? But then he says, we have the same questions ourselves as fans. We watch this and we feel those same questions. what we want to promise is that a lot of these questions will be dealt with or at least asked. So we as viewers want the same experience that you as viewers want. It just sounds like at some point Pike is like, is there going to be a Dr. McCoy soon? And then someone says, I don't know. And he goes, all right, well, we asked the question. They did say there will be no Chekov. Chekov doesn't make any sense, they say.
Well, he wasn't until season 2, is that right? Of the
original series, right. Yeah. But he could have been a crewman on the ship.
Just not on the bridge yet.
He would have been a child, canonically. He would have been like 16. But he was like 16 in the Kelvinverse shit, so.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. In a San Diego Comic-Con interview, the showrunners teased the return of Sybok. When asked to elaborate, Goldsman seemed to backtrack, implying, we did not say Sybok was coming. When asked how that fits with what they said during the SDCC Comic-Con interview, he says, we haven't heard the last of Sybok. And refused to get more specific.
All right. There we go.
Sounds like a bunch of horse shit. Season 5 started shooting on the 17th. Just a couple days ago. In Toronto.
Wow. It's crazy they're shooting season 5 when season 3 just finished. It's really wild to me.
Yeah, some of the I think Melissa Navia, who plays Erica Ortega's, was just complaining that she's like, man, I thought I was going to get a break, and now we're going right back to work.
Yeah, it sounds like they're wrapping it up, and they're like, yeah, let's get all these expensive sets struck. And
yeah, dude. Yeah. Which that brings us to Akiva Goldsman is still grifting out here at the SDCC, talking about like, oh, you gotta let them know you want year one. He says, I think that, as I say, we are renters, and so the new owners of the house just took possession. So I don't know. I think year one's a dream, and it's a good dream, and it's a real dream, and we would do it in a heartbeat. And right now, we know we promised to end Strange New Worlds well, so that's what we're doing. And if for some reason that dream is shared by the folks at Skydance and Paramount, that would be amazing. But we're not relying on it. We're ending the show because we promised to end the show in a way that is complete. The 5th season begins shooting in Toronto, or it did, on the 17th. See, and they've got those sets. The cast of characters aren't dying. He says, these are all the right questions. These decisions are more immediate than they would seem to be exactly for that reason for physical assets. But who knows? I wish I did. So yeah, they haven't even pitched it yet, by the way. They haven't even had a chance to pitch year one, like officially to Paramount.
Wow. God, I just don't know, man. I just don't know. I know that there's a lot of shifting going on over there, and I have no idea where all these I wonder if part of him getting right on season 5 is being worried that like if they don't get right on it with all the merger happening, that like they might just not get a season 5. You know?
Well, I don't know. I think they did do like a production shutdown for a second, and then while the merger was happening,
right.
And then once it happened, they got the green light to go ahead and finish up.
Okay.
So from what I've read,
gotcha.
I wasn't there in the room.
This is obviously speculation, but my speculation isn't really based on like what's happened since. My speculation is like when they planned the schedule. Like if you've already got all the season 5 written, like a lot of your production costs are already sunk. Like if you've already got the crew like ready and lined up to do it, like you might just go like, well, since you already did this under the old regime, we wouldn't want to keep the last season of the show, but go ahead and do those last like 5 episodes or whatever. Isn't season 5 short?
It is. It's like 6 episodes long, and they were not going to get that, and they begged for more, and then Paramount said, "Okay, you can have a movie," and they were like, "We really need more than a movie," so they gave them the 6 episodes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So.
All right. Anything
Over
else
to
for
Scouts.
Strange New Worlds? Yeah, Star Trek Scouts.
It's so weird that you're excited about this.
You know, I just watched. I've been hearing about it. I knew that it was going to be like a child show, kiddie
like
little
straight
show.
up, not even like Prodigy, like preschoolers.
No. Yeah, this is like for preschoolers. It's basically that like what is it, Spider Friends or whatever that's now running. You know what I'm talking about?
I think I kind of know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
roughly.
I think it's called Spider Friends. Marvel's Spidey and His Amazing Friends. That's what it's called.
Mhm.
It's very similar in aesthetic. That the heads are bigger. It's like child bodies basically, and they're doing Star Trek things on a Star Trek ship. My head canon. Also, all the stuff they're facing is utterly ridiculous. You said you saw one with like a spaghetti gun.
Yeah. They shot a fork with some spaghetti on it at a meatball meteorite. Yeah,
Right. I saw one where they fired a rubber ducky at a soap bar from the Bathnar Nebula or something like that.
yeah. They all look like Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, they all look like Jimmy Neutron. They all have pets at their respective station. Like one guy has a dog, one guy has a turtle. And the episode I watched, one of the girls like captured a pig or saved a pig's life, and it became her pet. So they're doing. It's a very kiddie show. But my having only watched like 3 minutes of it, I will say I didn't hate it. I enjoy it, and I got headcanon for it if you want it.
Sure. What do you got?
It's just a kids holodeck program.
Yeah.
Like it's the Star Trek universe. Some kid. It's holodeck daycare.
Yeah.
And like they do little. It's holodeck daycare with like Federation propaganda, and I kind of love it. Like, do you want to know more? Like it's just like, do you want to go to space, man? We're gonna be shooting like, and they're doing like actual sort of problem solving stuff, like very little silly problem solving. Like it literally is like there's a bathtub, there's a soap bar flying at you. What do you fire at it? And like you have to decide from a series of options, and it makes the kid think like what goes with the soap bar, what would stop a soap bar. Like there's like little like logic puzzles for the kids. It literally is like preschool in the Star Trek universe, and that's how I'm going with it. And I kind of love that as a concept, and just like let kids watch Star Trek and get into Star Trek in their own little way. It's working for Spider-Man. A lot of people are growing up now because Spidey and His Amazing Friends is Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider. Miles Morales and Spider-Man, and they're all like Miles Morales Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man, and they're like a trio, and they just work together all the time. And so all these kids are growing up knowing Miles Morales and Ghost Spider as closely as they know Peter Parker. And so a lot of them are coming of age, and that's why, then you have, I mean, this is around the same time, so it's not the same thing, but like they're also pushing that in the Spider-Verse movies, so like it just really it's keeping these characters alive in a way that like, and introducing them to new characters that aren't just in the current movies,
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I've watched some. I will watch all of them because of Star Trek. But, whew, man.
I mean, it's a child show. It's for kids for sure. It's for preschoolers.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just, it's funny because I grew up on Star Trek, and I know you said that when you were that age, your parents forced you to watch Star Trek and you hated it.
Yeah, the first, it didn't take long, but like, it was not what I wanted to watch. Like I was like 5 and my parents wanted to sit down and watch TNG, and like, I was 5 and I was like, I want to watch, I don't even know what I would want to watch at that point, honestly. Especially at like 8:00 at night, like what was on that I would even want to put on, maybe a movie or something. I don't even remember what I liked pre Star Trek. It's like I liked like He-Man and shit. I know.
Yeah.
Anyway. So they would put it on, and it was sort of like, okay, I want to watch TV, but like they're watching this, so I guess I'll sit and watch Star Trek. But then after a few episodes, I remember like connecting with Geordi and Data, and those were like my inputs to Star Trek. Like those were my steps into the universe. Like liking those two characters, liking the cool guy with the visor, making friends with the robot, and then like I watched a few episodes and I enjoyed that. And then like after that, I sort of just started to like all the characters.
Yeah, dude. Like I mean, when I was little, and I was like 2 or 3 or whatever, and like I was watching Star Trek, like the original series. It was in syndication. I adored it. I was also watching shit like GoBots and Transformers and He-Man and Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles and all that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, I also recognized that those were kids shows. And then when after dinner, I got to watch adult shows, which was Star Trek. And I love the shit out of that. So like, I was really excited when TNG came out. I didn't understand that it was Captain Picard. I thought it was just an older Kirk without hair. But I was still excited about it.
I think in many ways, Star Trek was my like first adult show. Like, it sounds like it may have been one of the first for you too. But I mean, we watched a lot of. I've made this case before on this podcast, and I still stand by it. I really want them to make Star Trek that is accessible to everybody, because I think that is an important aspect of Star Trek, is sitting around with your family and like your dad's watching a thing and you sit down to watch it with them, and you can enjoy it on your own level while he's enjoying it on his level, and there's different things you get from it as you get older, and I think that's a cool and important thing about Star Trek that I don't think they've pulled off in the last few years.
Yeah.
Especially as reliant as they become on just like, hey, it's a reference. Isn't this cool because it's a reference? Like, that's not cool for like a kid who's never watched anything, you know?
Yeah. Also, I don't know if that was my first adult show, because as far back as I can remember, certainly further back than living in the house when TNG first showed up. I know I was watching TOS in another apartment or something that we lived in, but dude, I watched The Rockford Files. I watched Little House on the Prairie. I watched Andy Griffith Show.
Well, I think I was going to say, a lot of those shows is what I was going to say. We did too. A lot of those shows aren't kid shows either, but they're not really adult shows. And I think Star Trek used to fall in that like amorphous category. Yeah. But it was a little bit elevated above like Andy Griffith, I think, like from a like how engaging it could be for an adult. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I would say it's a little more engaging on a ethics level and stuff. But, you know, even the Andy Griffith Show would have those, like, moral questions and stuff they had to figure out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, over to some TNG/legacy stuff. Marina Sirtis on Instagram says, the opportunity, or the chances of a Next Generation reunion coming are 0 to none. She says the opportunity was missed at the end of Picard. If we were going to continue with TNG, I think that would have been the opportunity to do that, but obviously that didn't happen. So the chances of us all getting together again, I think, are pretty 0 to none. That said, she says, I'm not saying that I would never go back. I think that if they asked me to be on one of the other shows, depending on the role or the storyline, I would absolutely consider it. I mean, I wouldn't just go back to say, Captain, he's hiding something, but you know, if it was meatier than that, I would definitely give it my consideration. I've never said I would never go back to Star Trek. So yeah, and I don't necessarily trust this guy. It's certainly not on DC on Screen, but the, what is his name? Jeff Snyder over on the Hollywood Insider is saying that it looks like Terry Matalas might be getting an overall deal at Marvel, which would really hinder any possibility of him doing any kind of Star Trek in the future.
I am really excited for what he's doing with Vision
Quest.
It seems we did an episode on it the other day with MCU Cast, and just like sort of breaking down what they're doing so far with that show and who all's on it and stuff, and it's really exciting. And he was saying that there was a quote where he said something like, we have so many Trek fans on the crew of that show that like we speak in like Trek language about what we're doing when we're making the show. And so just like, which is kind of what I've been saying I wanted this whole time. Like that scene with White Vision in WandaVision made me, I said it at the time, like, this is such a Star Trek moment. Like, it's such a Star Trek moment. The two robots talking to each other. And convincing one another of things in this like robot way. I loved it so much. And so I'm very excited for that character going forward. And now that I know Terry Matalas is doing it and doing it in a way that he feels like is Star Trek-y, I'm just so in with that.
Now, Jeff Snyder, grain of salt, but he says that looks like in that overall deal, he would be show running a show based on the character of Nova.
Hmm.
So I don't know what that means exactly.
I had no clue. that we've talked about it
Yeah.
for a long time. The idea of a Nova show makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
and they've talked about it over the years. But that's cool.
It feels more Star Trek-y than most Marvel.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like a federation of space cops sort of thing. But the idea with the Nova, if it's Nova Prime or whatever, is that, or that Nova, that like the Nova character, not just the Nova core. The idea would be that there'd just be one of them. Like he'd be like the last survivor of the Nova Corps or whatever. Richard Ryder, right?
God, I don't remember, man. I decided to veer heavily into DC, and I don't remember a lot of the periphery of Marvel. I can't keep it in my head anymore.
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Richard Ryder, a human with the force of the Nova Force. A human with the power of the Nova Force. And Sam Alexander inherits it later in comics.
Okay.
Yeah, just reading a Google search.
Yeah. You want to know a few tiny bits of information about what Noah Hawley was going to be doing with his Star Trek movie?
Oh man, I guess I do. I guess I want to know. I am enjoying Alien Earth so much that every week I'm just like, this is so freaking good. It's so like complex, and it's asking all the kinds of questions I love. Just like they were talking about earlier with like, it's asking questions about like, do you have empathy? Should you have empathy for the xenomorph? Like stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh yeah. Like I don't know if you're not watching it yet, right?
No.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And it does that, but it also introduces a whole new, what we're always talking about with Star Trek, like adding new pieces to the wall, adding new bricks to the wall of Star Trek canon, and not always having to be so referential, but it has done with that show. Like the xenomorphs are there, they exist, but it has added multiple alien species on top of that, and it's added a whole new other type of life form that they're dealing with. Do you want to hear it's the first episode, so I don't think it's spoilers, but do you want to hear the short pitch?
Yeah, that's fine.
There a lot of Star Trek, a lot of Alien, some of the movies have been about like these big corporations trying to extend life,
right? Like
with the synths and stuff, and you've seen a lot of synths. So what they're trying to do is create what they're calling hybrids. And so in the first episode, they explain all this. So they're creating hybrids. And what they've done is they've created synth bodies and they've downloaded brains into them. But because of the neuroplasticity problems, they can't do it to adults yet. So the entire series is based on these like 6 children that had diseases, like terrible diseases, and they download their brains into like these like synth bodies, and it's like this just such a weird and cool idea, and they call them the Lost Boys, like Peter Pan stuff, and they all have Lost Boy names like Wendy and Curly and Nibs and Toodles, like they all go by these names, and they live on an island, like it's all this referential stuff of Peter Pan, but it's like them trying to learn like what they are, and they're also dealing with like literal like death and aliens and stuff, so it's like terrifying on this way that like it's a child, like they are a child's mind. They also have abilities because they're synths, so they can also like they're kind of like children with superpowers, sort of, and it's like dealing with like their minds integrating into the synthetic bodies, and what does that mean, and like how do they think, and who are they, and are they themselves, or are they a copy of themselves, and like it's dealing with all of that on top of a freaking alien invasion type plot with multiple other species of alien also there that they're having to like learn about, and like it has added so many bricks to the wall of the alien universe that I am fascinated by, and I absolutely love it so much. And that's just great quick like what the basic idea is. It also feels kind of anime-ish, like these children, super robot people going into battle against aliens. I don't know. There's something very like anime-esque there.
Yeah, that's cool. And it makes me wonder even more about the Star Trek thing, because first of all, he did confirm that his movie was on the runway to start shooting in Australia. This was the summer of 2020, by the way. And before the project was halted, he had already cast Cate Blanchett and Rami Malek.
Oh, wow.
And he offered up something to Men's Journal, said, I guess the thing that might stick with people is that there was an unboxing of Data, the idea of the android. And that was to become an element in the films. Plural.
Wow.
Like, yeah, man, he was doing the synth shit. And this was, I guess, before Picard did it.
That's interesting. That sounds very much... Yeah, it definitely was before Picard. Wasn't the Noah Hawley series before Discovery? Because didn't it morph into, eventually, like, we were waiting on... When was this?
Summer of 2020.
Okay. I really thought that was before that Noah Hawley had an opportunity, but okay.
No. So that's pretty interesting. He also said, it was an adventure. I love the Wrath of Khan. My favorite moment is when Shatner puts on his reading glasses and lowers Khan's shields. It costs nothing. But I love that creative problem solving. They outsmarted their enemies, and that's my favorite kind of storytelling.
Yeah.
So yeah, just those two tiny little snippets. I want so much more. And apparently Emma Watts came in and said, "Are you people crazy? This is an untested crew. This is an original idea. We don't know if this is going to work or not work." So Paramount killed it.
God, that's exactly what Star Trek needs, is an untested crew. Like, it needs you to make something new that will get people excited. Like, if they just made something not so based in lore, not a prequel, and just did a thing that was undeniable, just an undeniably good show, everyone would be way more excited about the Star Trek universe. And instead, you're just trying to trap in the people that love Star Trek into watching your Star Trek show, and then you're not doing new things with it or making it amazing in most cases. Oh man, really depressing.
Yep. Speaking of which, I don't know what's about to happen. Looks like Skydance, now that they've taken over Paramount, they're trying to Larry Ellison is trying to buy fucking WB.
Which would include all your DC stuff.
Yeah. Don't want that. I don't need that. I don't want to be dealing with Larry Ellison in both Star Trek and DC on screen.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
And obviously, you know, that means they would merge Paramount Plus and HBO Max. But WBD doesn't own any broadcast television assets. And the television assets like CBS were the biggest sticking points for that merger with the FCC. So, I mean, they could do it.
Yeah. This is where I have to put on my anti-billionaire rant hat. I am really worried for the future. I'm really, really worried for free speech. And not just free speech from our government, like our government's pressure on free speech, which is obviously a problem. But like, there's always been a struggle between art and commerce. But now I feel like the powers that be understand propaganda. They understand controlling a population better than they ever have before. And we are getting a pretty scary shaping of the future right now. And a lot of it is happening at the behest of the Trump administration. And it is both against the First Amendment, like literal free speech, and like the government taking over speech and like what is allowed to be said. but it is also, even if it was just these billionaires buying up everything and then controlling it, that is still a small number of people controlling the speech of many and the ideas of many. And I'm very, very worried for the future. Really, really worried. Both on like a very myopic, like, I podcast about this stuff. I love this stuff. I love the community that we have, like, around our podcasts, and like the friends I've made, and the conversations I have every week. And it feels, I said this a few weeks ago, but it really does feel like I don't even know if I want to talk about these things if they're this beholden to the billionaire class. And they always have been to some degree. It's always been, these companies are always owned by people. But like, honestly, so Larry Ellison, this week, it was also announced that the Trump administration has been negotiating with China about the TikTok ban, because Congress passed a TikTok ban last year, and they said that TikTok was going to be shut down at a certain date unless an American company or American investor could purchase it. And it actually should have been shut down already by the law, but Trump doesn't care about law. So that's the first problem. I don't want TikTok shut down any more than, most of anyone does, but like, it's still like, I want the president to have to follow the laws that Congress passes. So that's a little complicated, but, it was just announced this week that, they've made a deal. It's not all signed, but they've come up with the framework of a deal of who would own it. And it came out that it's Larry Ellison. So this is not some like big bidding war between different conglomerates trying to own TikTok for money reasons. This is a backdoor deal with the Trump administration and China. And it makes me incredibly distrustful of Larry Ellison and his goals. And we've been talking about it on this podcast, like, just the idea of one billionaire being able to snatch up properties and snatch up things we love is upsetting.
Yeah.
Really upsetting. But the idea, but we've been like, well, maybe some of his like Trump schmoozing that we've seen in the news or whatever, like maybe some of that was just like he's trying to make a deal and he has to do it to make the deal. Maybe he's a guy who loves Star Trek and he'll have open ideals and whatever. And like, after this TikTok thing where he is the secret bidder who's been working behind the scenes with the Trump administration to buy TikTok, that is Trump putting his stamp of approval on Larry Ellison as a guiding force for culture. And so all of our discussions about maybe he's not so bad, I'm looking at him as pretty bad at this point. I'm pretty fearful of what this means for Star Trek. And just looking at the landscape of media right now, Disney is capitulating. Disney just fired Kimmel. They're capitulating at every corner. And the Trump administration is putting the screws to these people, and they're capitulating instead of fighting. So Disney's owned right now. They're getting completely, under control of the Trump administration, by my view. Like, it's really bad. Then you've got now Star Trek and Paramount, and now it looks like WB is going to be owned, and like that's just a lot of media we consume. And I don't want media that's just going to spoon feed me the hegemony or whatever. Like, I want interesting
hegemony.
Yeah.
Sounds like alimony that a hedge pays. Hegemony. Even if politics weren't a thing here, I don't want all of my studios owned by the same people anyway.
Exactly.
For creative reasons?
100%. 100%. And it makes me want to just support a lot of independent media and independent storytellers and see what we can grow outside of the system, because like we got like whatever 100 years of this geeky media we love built up, and I love it all and I want more of it. And they haven't, these big conglomerates have smartly bought up all the IP we love and now we watch it because we love it, and we talk about it every week on podcasts because we love it. But it's becoming part of the propaganda machine, and it always has been to some degree. There's always been like, oh well, you can't do that, or you can't. Original series, they won't buy a woman as the first officer or whatever, there's changes being made to the vision of these creatives and these progressive people trying to make change in the world through art. There have always been these shaving around the edges to what the money people think people will accept. But there's a difference between that and fascists owning the means of producing art.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about fearing socialists or whatever, or fearing communism, but like this is owning the means of production. This is them buying up, using their buddies with money this is oligarchy at its finest, buying up all of the things and likely turning them into propaganda arms. And I'm very scared. I'm very, very, very worried. And
me too.
I've been having a rough time with it today. Like, it's a big part of my life and stuff I love. And the Kimmel firing after the Charlie Kirk shooting, is first off, horrific. The Charlie Kirk shooting's horrific. And then the way that the Trump administration used it for propaganda the entire week was horrific. The firing of Jimmy Kimmel is completely unjust and is an absolute unconstitutional move on the FCC's part. This is
he has not been officially fired. They are meeting right now to see if there's a path forward, and that is coming after if social media is at all to be believed, a tremendous loss in Hulu and Disney Plus subscriptions. Good. And lots of people have shut off their Disney and Hulu shit.
Yeah. I hear that, and I hope that's true. I hope he comes back quickly. I hope Colbert gets reinstituted. These people are being fired because of Donald Trump, and the president is not supposed to run our media. It's just not supposed to happen that way.
Right.
We're supposed to have an independent media, and we don't, and that is really, really fucking scary.
Yep.
You control what you watch, what you listen to. You control how people think. And instead of us getting to choose what we think, our Twitter is owned by Nazi Elon Musk. Our Facebook and Instagram are owned by Mark Zuckerberg, who is there serving at the behest of Donald Trump. Our Apple is owned by Tim Cook, who's giving gifts to Donald Trump. Giving gold bars to Donald Trump in front of us all. Now TikTok is going to be owned by Larry Ellison, who's also going to own Star Trek and DC and so much more of the content that's being created in the world. And it just makes me want to burn it all down, man. I'm so my love for it. It makes me really I just got to find new stuff to be into. This is really just dark.
Yeah. Now, the one thing I'll say about Larry Ellison, I don't know anything about Larry Ellison aside from, what we've talked about here today. But David Ellison is the person. His son is the person that is over Skydance, and Larry is footing the bill on the WB merger. We don't know exactly. Well, I don't know. Maybe we do know. I don't personally know where David Ellison exactly fits into all this. My politics are very different from my father's. We don't know. Larry Ellison's pretty old as well. We don't know how this is all going to shake out with him, but what David Ellison is going to do.
David Ellison is the one working at Skydance. I don't really know. I don't know.
He's the one in charge of Skydance, but his dad is Larry.
Yeah, I hear that, and it's very. I hope there's some light between the Ellisons and the Trump administration. I do. I surely hope that's the case. but like the TikTok deal kind of sinks it for me. Like I don't see how you do this behind the scenes deal with China in secret, not telling anyone who the deal is with, knowing that Donald Trump wants to have control over TikTok. He wants his team to have control of TikTok. So he does a behind the scenes secret deal. And who does he pick? Ellison. It makes me feel like this is just part of the same media takeover. And it's like, it's too many things. It's too many things happening all at once to be any kind of coincidence. It is, it's just right in front of us happening. Our like media landscape is changing for propaganda purposes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to cover up with little washcloths of hope.
I believe me, man. I'm right there. Like I want hope, but I do not have much right now.
Yeah. So feedback?
Sure. I would love to hear from people about something other than this.
All right. Well, it's just one piece of feedback that we didn't. They didn't get it in on time. Andre Sparks.
Andre, it's going to be hopeful. I bet.
It is, I think.
I love that.
I didn't read it. I'm sorry, Andre. But
we like to be surprised.
I read them on the show.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hey, guys. I got to say my prediction was right. But what they did still surprised me. I got to say they landed the ship in terms of ending the season. That really felt like a series finale right there, with how all the stories ended, but also hinting at what's to come with Pike and Spock. I really couldn't tell if that future segment was for Pike or Batel at first, but as it went on, I figured it was for her character, and that leads me to believe that Pike will end up the way he's supposed to. Since the love of his life sacrificed herself, he has no choice and will do the same. Here's my question to you two, though. Will we get Doctor Who coming in to save him? We keep getting all these hints about him. It's got to lead to his appearance, right? Thanks, guys, for coming back every week. Can't wait to get your take on the Lego news and the preschool show. They're building future Trek fans in new ways. So, okay, the Lego news I didn't even include because I didn't think it was news. It is news, but we don't have like a toy-based show. And I, even as a big toy fan, I don't really follow Lego, but it is a big deal. Like, up to this point, Star Trek has never been officially with Lego.
Well, that's the reason you're not a Lego guy.
Well, yeah,
you might have a whole different life if you your house might be full of Lego if they'd had Star Trek when you were a kid.
Well, no, Lego had plenty of Batman and stuff as well, and I just never really followed the Lego toys. But you know, Star Trek though, it's a big deal because Star Trek, you can't find anything Star Trek Lego. Like, they didn't have the license. It was always these weird fucking off brands. It was just like, you know, like Blue Block. I'm like, no one collects that shit. That's always going to be like the Lego knockoff that doesn't fit into the Lego. But now Lego has the license, and they've displayed some of the TNG stuff. They're going to have like a big Enterprise D. So, I wasn't going to mention that, but all right, Andre, fine. Yeah, I like you forced me into it.
I'm glad you did. That feels like a really great pairing. You know, like I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that have been waiting for this their whole lives. I mean, I've seen insanely intricate Star Trek Lego things people have built, you know, just off book or whatever. Yeah. But I'm sure this is going to be great for some people who love Lego and Star Trek.
Yeah. And absolutely. And I'm excited. Actually, I saw it and I got excited for Elijah, my nephew, who was a freaking genius. Did I tell you he built an Iron Man gauntlet out of Lego that lit up?
Oh, that's cool.
On the little thing on the disruptor on the hand.
That's awesome.
Like, dude, this is sick, dude. Like, like, he builds all these Lego things, but he's gonna be an engineer or something. But yeah. Anyway, what was the other thing? Doctor Who. Here's the thing about Doctor Who, though, and I meant to talk about it last time, and we didn't get to it. One, I think Russell T Davies, Doctor Who is not in a good place. I think they were trying to build it up to maybe do a crossover. Russell T Davies tried to do this back in 2005, and Enterprise got canceled. They were planning a Doctor Who crossover for season 5 of Enterprise. Enterprise got canceled. So we flash forward to like a year or two ago. We have Strange New Worlds going. Star Trek is going strong. Doctor Who is coming to Disney. It's going strong. Russell T. Davies is back. Doctor Who did not go strong enough. Like, Disney is not happy with Doctor Who. It didn't do a fantastic amount of business. Not, BBC says Doctor Who's going to continue no matter what. But now we're hearing that Russell T. Davies is stepping back, and he's not going to be the showrunner for whatever comes next. We don't know if Disney's decided to renew it or not. We're in like a weird holding pattern with Doctor Who. So I don't think they're going to get to do a Doctor Who crossover with Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, it's like, who would be crossing over? Which Doctor would be crossing over is the question. It sounds like Ncuti Gatwa is leaving.
Gone.
He's leaving, and so I guess they're rebooting. But then if you're gonna have the crossover, you probably want someone who people are familiar with. So it's like you don't want to do it like the first year of a new Doctor or like whatever you want to, but like then I don't know. Did you follow the last couple seasons of Doctor Who?
No, and it was not on purpose. It was not on purpose. I swear to God. The last episode I watched was Capaldi's last episode.
You just don't like women. I knew that's what you were saying. I knew that's why you're I promise it wasn't on purpose.
I was like, you son of a bitch. No, what it was is like, I was really excited about Jodie Whittaker because I loved her in Broadchurch.
Yeah.
And I knew she was like best friends with David Tennant in real life.
Yeah.
And it just so happened like I got married at the same time that her stuff was about to come out. So I was like, cool, I can rewatch all the old Doctor Who with Bethany and we can catch up because I know Bethany's going to love Doctor Who as she has, but we've got all this other stuff we watch. So like, we're still in Capaldi era with her.
Yeah.
So we just haven't gotten back to it yet.
Yeah. I took a long break. I feel like I take a long break after every new Doctor. Like every new Doctor, I kind of fall off for a minute, then I go back and rewatch, and then go back and rewatch. I haven't finished the Ncuti stuff. I think I watched the first season he was on, but I think there's been a season I didn't watch.
Okay.
So I think I'm one season behind. But there was, I don't know if you know about it, and I don't want to spoil it for you, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody else, but there are ways they could bring back the 10th Doctor. I'll say that. There's a number of
generation
ways.
Shit, yeah.
They had a bi-generation thing, and then they've also like put a version of him in a different universe at one point, and there are different versions of the 10th Doctor running around, and he's one of the most beloved, and he's still around, and like I bet he'd be down for a Star Trek episode. So like, even if you don't tie it to current Doctor Who at all, if you just did a one-off episode where David Tennant's Doctor showed up, it would be, I'd watch it for sure. Like, I mean, I'm going to watch it regardless. It's Star Trek, but like, that'd be the dream for me. They've set it up in a way, like, I mean, obviously if they had a current Doctor that was running, like that would probably be the thing to do. But like, it's also, if it's going to be one Doctor getting a crossover, that's my favorite Doctor. So, and there are ways to do it. So,
the thing that I would love to see is, and I would love it if this was true, if this was just like they haven't, because of schedules not aligning, they haven't been able to announce it yet. I would love it if one of the episodes of season 4 was a Doctor Who crossover that we just didn't know was coming. And with as many people as are still around, they could have David Bradley show up as the first Doctor. They could have like this like sort of a Moffat-esque time travel episode where like the Doctor shows up and he's like Tennant, and then like he goes away, and then it comes back and it's Matt Smith, and then he goes away for another segment to do something else, and when he comes back it's David Bradley as the first Doctor, and when he leaves he comes back and it's Ncuti, just being like, oh sorry, keep trying to get to this, like okay, here you go, this I'm gonna do research on this, give me a minute, and then he like disappears and then comes back and it's Jodie Whittaker.
That would be
like,
that could be really fun. That could be really, really fun. I would love to see it, Andre, is the answer. I don't know that they'll do it, but I would love to see it.
Yeah, I would love to see it, absolutely. Like, it's like, man, all this timing keeps being off on whether y'all canceled or what. Come on, man, let's do some Doctor Who, Star Trek shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Andre, by the way, yeah, like all of that, the future segment happened for Pike and Batel. Like it was all in their heads, but they lived an entire life together.
Yeah,
because her power had them live an entire life together.
Yeah. That's how I took it too. As I said in the episode, for whatever reason, I think it was because the knocking seemed like it was knocking for him to go answer, and she was like, stay with me a while, or whatever. It felt to me like it was more from his perspective, but I know you didn't feel that way. But yeah, I do think both of them experienced it, and it's a thing they will both remember as one version of their lives that they had.
Yeah, I think the only reason it was like geared more towards his perspective at times was for our sake, so we'd be sitting there going, "What's going on?" I knew what was going on the whole time, though. I was like, "Oh, come on."
Yeah,
but also, I was thinking because of the Doctor Who references, I was like, he will knock 4 times. But yeah, so they had a whole life together that they both experienced. And yes, now Pike will go on and that baffle plate will rupture and he will wind up in the chair.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks, Andre. That did get me to a happier place where I just get to speculate about Doctor Who and Star Trek mixing. I would want it to be a different universe, personally, right? Like, you'd have to jump universes.
Oh, it has to be.
Yeah. Like, they're not gonna. It has to be. I understand you could do an episode, especially with Strange New Worlds, as fast and loose as they play it, like where he just showed up. But I do think they need to mention like a dimensional rift or something like that, because you just don't want to try to put all of the canon of Doctor Who somehow in the Star Trek universe that does not fit.
Yeah, they had. Yeah, no, it doesn't fit at all, and. They had mentioned in Doctor Who back in the old Russell T Davies days that, there are certain safeguards in place to keep him from going from universe to universe instead of just in time. But they seem to have thrown all that out. Like, Shooty was just like, they literally mentioned it. They have mentioned it before on Doctor Who as Star Trek being in a fictional reality. And though to have her be like, oh, it's like a transport on Star Trek. Oh yeah, we have to visit them. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. I like that. I like the idea. Like, they've done it in DC as well, where it's like, the Flash's favorite comic book was the old Flash, and that's why he called himself the Flash. And actually, the writer was just channeling another universe, and this all happened. And
then there's also the Logan version where there are comic books of those things and stories of these things, but they actually happened. They're just little different versions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really liked that in Logan. That, like, of course, if these big events happen, there'd be people writing stories about these bigger than life characters that were out saving the world or whatever. Makes total sense that in that world, that would be the comic books.
I want to see Todd McFarlane's version of the story of Paul Revere. Where all the redcoats are coming, and they're all like big, giant, foldy coats, like Spawn capes.
Yeah, totally. I dig it.
All
right. So that's all our news and all our feedback.
That's everything, man. That's everything. Well, happy 300th, buddy.
Happy 300th. It was good to chat with you. I'm sorry I was a downer in the middle.
Oh, it's fine. I am a downer too. Like, I have not known how to feel about anything except sadness.
Yeah, it's
frustration and anger.
It's a really frustrating time right now, and it worries me because the things they're doing, the fascism they're putting in place, where they're controlling the media, they're controlling speech. They are. I mean, I don't even think we mentioned it, but that's why this happened. Is the FCC came out and threatened? Did we say this on the cast or no? Like, the FCC threatened them.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we said that. We talked about it at some point. I can't remember if it was on cast, but basically, the head of the FCC said you can do this the easy way or the hard way, and then they got rid of Kimmel. And it like, for now, hopefully, there's enough anger over this that Donald Trump can't just do this stuff. And he just keeps testing.
Yeah.
It's the fucking Jurassic Park. The Raptors are testing the fences. Like the fascists are testing the fences. The fascists are testing the norms to see what will allow, will society allow without rioting in the streets. But then if they riot in the streets, they use that as a predicate to do more. If there's violence, it's just a self-perpetuating cycle, and they only have the goal of Donald Trump only wants what's good for Donald Trump. He doesn't care about anybody else.
Well, yeah, I read a few statements from insiders, supposed insiders, who were saying all of these places really care about is money. And, Colbert and Kimmel and all these late night talk shows, according to these people, have been hemorrhaging money for years. Mm-hmm. And they are using this as an excuse to just go ahead and get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
You don't believe that?
No. It's not money.
It's possible.
No, it's not money that these things make. It's advertising. Like, yes, those blocks of time may cost more than they make in revenue, but those blocks of time are the time they put their 3 guests on to do an ad for their movies that are coming out. Right. Or these are basically infomercials. They always have been. They are infomercials that the company gets paid something for. Like, they're not, yes, they may be losing money on a spreadsheet somewhere, but the amount of advertising they're able to do for their most recent movie. Whenever Kimmel is Disney, Marvel is Disney. Whenever they do a big Marvel thing, all the panel comes on. 1 million ships are launched. They put out all this content everywhere. So that's a bullshit argument if you hear it. It's like, yes, they may lose money. They may all lose money, but they are not about the money. They are an advertising arm of this. Sure. They are what pushes culture in the direction they push it. And like all the movies that we watch, a lot of them we know about because of these shows. Even in today's market, like they're less, obviously these things are less valuable now because now we have YouTube and we can watch these things however. But like a lot of the most popular YouTube things are clips from those shows. Yeah. Even if I'm wondering if they are losing money, if they're including all the YouTube views and all the like, culturally they're incredibly important. Even if they're losing money, they're culturally incredibly important. And all these companies, they use them to leverage power and like access to a global market to get their movies and their TV shows watched.
I get all that. That's a pretty good point about why he's buying TikTok.
Yeah.
But because I do think that, all these internet platforms are more profitable overall than network television.
Oh, for sure.
People don't watch those. I mean, what is Kimmel average? Like 1 million? Something like that?
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw it the other day. But, there's a lot of talking heads and a lot of articles and a lot of stuff coming out saying this is true and this is true. And I don't have access to all these spreadsheets and I don't care that much. I'd be sad if late night went away, but
yeah,
I don't like the implications of why it's going away now.
That's the thing. It's the fascism for me.
Yeah,
I don't really. If like any of these shows got canceled, I'd be like, well, it's changing of the landscape. And I think that's why Colbert didn't get this kind of uproar, is because there was just enough veneer of like maybe it's a money thing. That was around, even though they were the most successful one, the most profitable one. Then, but also, it wasn't a direct call out from the FCC chairman saying you need to fire Kimmel.
Right.
It was they kind of want to curry favor with the administration, and we know how much Trump hates Colbert, and they want to get a deal with the government. It was like, maybe it was their own choice, but this was direct, like, mob boss tactics. Like, you do this if you want us not to harm you with the force of the government. And like, that is just authoritarianism. It is, It is against the Constitution. It is anti-free speech. It needs to be like that FCC chairman needs firing. Honestly, whoever's running ABC that wouldn't stand up to that obvious free speech violation, like they should have taken it to court immediately. They should be suing the Trump administration right now instead of working with them. Sue him back. He is suing all of you. Sue him fucking back. He is a fucking bully. He needs to be punched in the nose. He needs to be sued, and he needs to be fucking taken out of office by when he's finally brought low by the like people finally standing up to him. I'm tired of this capitulation bullshit.
Yeah. You seen that really old George Carlin bit that's been going around about how the FCC started?
No. It's amazing how prescient every one of his bits are, though.
Oh yeah. It's all a bit about how the FCC started because the U.S. government realized that television and radio were not covered by freedom of speech. And the reason that they realized this was because a fucking preacher in Minnesota heard something he didn't like on the radio and complained.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah. The FCC is just the government, has always been just the government trying to control radio and television and what the people hear.
Yeah. Yep. Well, here's the thing. No one uses the public airways anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is all digital now. Vast majority of people, like, all these, like, things about, like, local affiliates and stuff, like, screw them. Like, let the local affiliates not have your ABC. Let them figure out what they're going to put on, what Kirk Cameron movie they can afford. Like, they're
playing Charlie Kirk tributes.
Yeah, their local affiliates will die if they don't have, like, this is my message to anyone who's still listening to this podcast. If you have any power, like, if you are an industry person, like, if you are listening to this podcast because you're checking in on what Star Trek podcasts are saying, tell your bosses to fight this. They have the power. We want to see what the famous people, what the great actors, what the artists of our time do. Like, these local affiliates that all they produce is the local news, which is important, but if it's run by Sinclair Media, which is the one who's trying to buy up all these stations right now, that is making this happen, they're the ones causing this. It's a complicated mishmash of things, and it's all government control of this media. Like, tell them, yeah, most people are watching ABC on YouTube now. Like, we don't need your local affiliate channel. Like, we don't need your whatever. Let them die on the vine and let somebody scoop them up and put you back on.
The people who are still watching affiliates are like the people who are happy that Kimball's gone away anyway. Like,
right,
because they're angry that he's, some
they think they
liberal
are
jackass.
They think they are, but they can just go watch One American News or Newsmax and further their bubble. But like, they shouldn't. Like, don't give them access. Like, stop giving the local affiliates. I'm talking with the companies. I'm not talking with the people. The people, I want them, they should have access. They do. They'll have access through all kinds of other means. But, like, everything's digital now. Most people watch these things through streaming services, which are not FCC regulated. And, like, you don't need local affiliates to control your streaming revenue. Or like your YouTube revenue, which is more where you get your revenue these days. I know there's licensing fees and all that stuff, but like, they will die without you, not the other way around. Like, you, the people making the content, have power in this situation. The artists have power in this situation. If you are going to be in, I think that every Marvel and Star Wars and DC with this new Ellison sale, like, I think all of them should go on strike. Like, that would be a powerful move. I think that if every one of those superstars from the Marvel Doomsday went on strike and they were spending millions of dollars a day because they're on strike, that would matter.
Yeah.
But like, we don't have power. Those people have power, and they say that they don't like Trump. They say they're pro free speech. They say all these things. But like, if they're willing to put their money behind it, they could just go on strike. And I know it would cost them money. They would, like, whatever, but go on strike. And the only way they get you back is not charging you whatever fees they want to charge you. Like, get the whole team on board. Like, Russo brothers, all you guys go on strike. Don't make Doomsday. I would rather you not make Doomsday than this happen.
Yeah. WGA, SGA, all of it. Or SAG, whatever, SAG.
Yeah.
SAG-AFTRA.
Yes. And I know they just went on strike for other reasons, but like, they should absolutely be on strike for this. Like, they should be on strike to be like, you don't sell to Sinclair Media anymore. Like, Sinclair Media should die on the vine because no one will sell content to it. They are propagandists of our time. They own 39% of homes in America get their local news through Sinclair Media, and the only reason it's 39% is because you're not allowed to go above 39 by law, and that is what they're trying to get the Trump administration to give them a pass on so they can buy up more media stations so that they run the local news for the entire country. That's Sinclair Media, so they can be a propaganda arm of all of this stuff. And like, this is all happening because Sinclair Media, put pressure on the ABC folks saying like, well, we're not going to run Kimmel anymore. And then they fired Kimmel, or they put Kimmel on suspension. Like, just tell Sinclair Media you don't get it anymore. Like, you're just not getting this content anymore. You do what you want. And then Sinclair Media has to go, oh, we're not getting any content. We just sell off our assets. We can't run anything. You know, like, I know it would be a big disruption, but it's insane. It's
so weird. Like, you know, I'm almost 42. And I have not thought about fucking affiliates.
Yeah.
For so long.
Right.
And then all of a sudden this stuff starts coming through and I'm like, this is a thing still? Like, people are still worried about this?
Yeah. But here's the thing. All the artists who make the stuff you want to watch are left-leaning. I'm sorry. It's just true. Right-leaning people in general, there are very few exceptions. Right-leaning people aren't good artists.
Yeah, no.
Because they don't have any inner life. I'm sorry. That's not true.
They don't.
That's a big overstatement. They don't question themselves. They don't progress their ideas. The reason art is art, the reason it challenges us, is because you progress in the ideas you're asking about. If you just want to watch people like have a fight out at the OK Saloon or whatever every week, and you just want to watch the same Western every week, you can watch the same Western every week. But like, if you want to progress, if you want to have new ideas, if you want to be challenged, it takes an artist's mind, and that's why they are left-leaning generally. There are very few exceptions, but generally, artists are left-leaning because of the way they think. It's not some cabal who is, like, controlling the media to make it left, which is what they like to fucking say, but it is the way left-leaning people's brains work. They're more open to new ideas. It's literally conservatism versus progressivism. Like, you are wanting to progress, you are wanting to explore new ideas, and it is important that we continue to do that as a society, or we will all die on the vine. Our ideas will die. We need free speech.
Yep.
I'm getting annoyed at how many podcasts lately end up being this, and I'm sorry, guys. It's the world we're living in, and I'm living in it, and I don't know how to not comment on it. I'm trying to at least play with other things before I do that, but fuck.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying. I'm trying to not have my whole life taken over by this. It has been kind of tough.
Yeah, it is tough. And it should be tough. I honestly want to organize like a local go to the local affiliate that makes the ABC channel and protest or whatever, like put together a good protest, like at the local affiliate level. You know, if every local affiliate their doors were blocked by protesters, like I think that would make a difference. But it just takes a lot of people getting on board, or a very few actors that are in doomsday.
Yeah.
Like, go on strike, guys. Go on strike. It would end this. You would have Kimmel back in the chair in a matter of hours if every doomsday person went on strike right now. And you would scare Donald Trump because he would know that a few actors have more power than him. Because you fucking do. And you know it. You know it. You could either tank their entire most valuable asset of Marvel, or they could work with you. And they could not, like, just capitulate to fascism. Just an idea.
Yeah. I hope something big happens that stops this shit.
Yeah, apparently Damon Lindelof came out and said unless they rehire Kimmel, he won't work with Disney.
Right, I did see that.
Yeah. So there are people out there who have balls.
Yeah. I did laugh because I saw one of the people who came out was Alex Winter, and I was like, dude from Bill and Ted.
I love it. I don't want to like poo-poo anyone joining the resistance. Yeah. But so like good for you, Alex Winter. But yeah. The joke
was a weird choice.
It was it feels like if you're Alex Winter, it's more like yeah, I question the motives of coming out with that statement, but I don't really like. I say I really do like. I'm good on you, Alex Winter. Let everyone absolutely follow. Doesn't the Bible say an Alex Winter will lead us?
You know, it's been a while since I read it. It was just like, I don't know who else come out or whatever. I appreciate anyone standing in solidarity.
Yeah,
but it was funny to me that's who I saw, and I was like, okay,
yeah. Hey, add them up. Like, build a new Hollywood outside of the billionaires. Like, make your own thing. And I know a lot of actors and directors over the last few decades have done that. They have built like their own studios. They've built their own like production companies. Like, go make stuff with those people who are making art for art's sake and like doing the thing. And, you know, stop selling your stuff. Stop selling properties to these billionaires. It's tempting. I know it's tempting, but stop doing it.
Yeah, the whole thing just reminded me of like when Conan would do his like beginning of the year introduction of new characters, and returning characters, and they would do like a bunch of new characters, and then like Masturbating Bear would come out, and then like always Abe Vigoda. Yeah. It's like he's not even a celebrity anymore. He's just a character on your show.
Yeah, I love it. I watched I know it's kind of crazy having never seen this. I had never seen The Godfather. And in my whole life, I've just been like, I need to watch that, you know. And I'd kind of thought about like watching it for a podcast or something. Like we talked about doing a podcast, kind of like where we watch movies the big holes and the things we'd seen, like a big hole, like Godfather's a big hole.
In your Rolodex, in your personal canon.
Yeah, the things everyone says you should watch that you hadn't watched yet. There was an idea for a podcast like that. We haven't had time to make it because we already make too many. I do love that idea though. And one of those, I was kind of saving it for that, but my fiance was like, you got to watch The Godfather. We're watching it. And I was like, so I finally watched it this week, and Abe Vigoda is like in there as a young man. And it just like, and I know him from Conan. Like, I know him more from Conan than anything else. And so seeing him, I was like, oh, it's that character from Conan.
Yeah. It's a little weird. You know, dude, he's also on Barney Miller for years and years. I've never seen The Godfather. Yeah, it's good. It's good. My mom always told me, you got to watch The Godfather, but you got to watch it with me. And then every time I'd be like, hey, you want to watch The Godfather trilogy? She's like, not today. So here I am, almost 42, and I haven't watched The Godfather.
Yeah. Well, the one big thing I noticed in The Godfather that I'd never realized, and it was just I was watching The Godfather, and there's all these people in it that I knew from all these other things, but a lot of them are so young, and I had, it's just wild to see. But Talia Shire is a main character as well.
Okay.
From the Rocky movies.
Sure.
And what I had realized while I was doing this is she's a Coppola. Mm-hmm. She's like a niece or something of Coppola who's making the movie. Yeah. Who is also a Coppola is a Nick Cage. Who changed his name to get away from the Coppola name, but still was a Coppola. And there's a scene in The Godfather where she's just freaking out. And all I could see was, the bees! Like, she's screaming, like, I can't believe you did this! She's playing like a big, just hysterical moment, you know? And like, it was just interesting to see from like thinking about like Nick Cage and her being like niece and nephew, I think is how that relationship works. I think she's an aunt of his. I said niece and nephew, aunt and nephew, I think is how the tree works. But anyway, I just thought that was very kind of fun to see, like that Nick Cage style of acting coming out of his aunt, 50 years earlier.
Yeah.
Just but it's also being written for a woman. And I said hysterical a minute ago, which I understand the sexist roots of that word, but I said it intentionally because I think that's what they're playing with in that moment. She's a hysterical woman. She's freaking out.
I think about half of Nick Cage's roles, he's hysterical.
100%. 100%. But that's what I'm getting at. I think it's novel when he does it in a way that is fun, but I think the connection in the acting was very much there. But it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
All right. By the way, do you know who Talia Shire's son is?
Who?
Jason Schwartzman.
I did know that. I knew that from the night I watched The Godfather. I searched around because I was once I got on the Coppola, who's a Coppola tree of people, I was like, oh right, Schwartzman. I forgot about that. She married a Schwartzman and then had a young Schwartzman.
And it starts to make sense, how he's in the different Coppola movies that are sort of almost, I don't know, they kind of mingle with Wes Anderson movies, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
where you start getting Roman Coppola and all these people who are making all these independent films with Bill Murray and Jason Schwartzman, and
it always makes me very sad. And this is a little bit my own hang up. Every time I think there's an artist and I'm like, oh man, this new artist is so good. And I think they're came from nowhere. Then I do a little bit of research and they're just they're a cousin of somebody or a nephew of somebody. It's so much nepotism. And even when it is someone who's not a famous person, isn't their uncle or aunt, if you do the research, then you're like, oh, but their producer cousin or their producer or their dad was an engineer for these guys or whatever. There's always some family connection. And it's just as a person who did music was where I noticed it more as much as I did acting. Yeah, it's wild how much nepotism is all throughout everything.
Oh, absolutely. But at the same time, I don't know. There was a little cultural movement on the internet at the very least about stupid Nepo babies, try to cancel the Nepo babies. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, but if I ever got anywhere in my life, I'm bringing all my friends with me. Sure. And I mean, you see people who do that, like Sam Raimi or James Gunn even does that a little bit, bring people, but the thing about the Nepo baby, I think you don't cancel a Nepo baby. What's the point? There's no point in canceling a Nepo baby. The thing is, saying it makes sense.
You just want them to acknowledge the Nepo-ness. You know what I mean? Have you heard? Oh gosh, what's his name? Huey from The Boys, Jack Quaid. Yeah, have you ever heard him talk on being a Nepo baby?
I want to say I did, and he was quite ardent about being a Nepo baby.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, yeah, I'm a Nepo baby, of course. He's like, I of course, there's no way I would be where I am without the support I've had and the life I've had and the parents I've had who put me here and it got me here. I still think it takes me working hard to make it happen, and I'm absolutely, I'm putting all the work in. And I'm trying to do a good job, but that's all it takes is it's the whole fighting the Nepo baby moniker that I think is distasteful. It's still a cancellation, whatever. That's not worth canceling someone over, but
no.
It is worth looking at them and going oh, I see why you are where you are if they're bad.
Right, but except Jack Quaid is, specifically in his case, he is, I think, a better actor and performer than either of his parents, and has really blown up because he is so damned versatile.
He's really good.
He's really good. Did you watch Novocaine?
No, I want to.
I haven't seen it yet. I want to watch it too.
No, I haven't. I always feel bad when there's a movie in the theaters that looks so up my alley. A lot of times it looks up my alley 10 years ago. It's I would be in the theater for that 10 years ago, but I have a little bit of it. It's harder to get to the theater these days. I got a lot going on. I'll watch things when they go to the streaming. There's a lot of reasons. It's not that the movie isn't up my alley, but I still haven't watched Novocaine.
I don't enjoy going to theaters, so I'll go for big things that I have to go to see for the podcast, but generally I don't go to theaters. I still want to watch Nobody 2.
Me too. I'll go with you if it's still in theaters. I'd love to go.
I don't think it's in theaters anymore.
Really? That quick? Oof.
I don't even know if it went. I don't know. I don't know how you see it. Nobody to.
There's a great skit. There's a great sketch in a speaking of Nepo babies. There's a really great moment in the Do Not Destroy. Is it Do Not Destroy? The guys, the new trio that sort of does the digital shorts. They sort of replace the Lonely Island guys. Isn't it Do Not Destroy?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
I'll have to send it to you, but there's a really funny sketch where
it doesn't look like Nobody 2 is in theaters anymore, and it's $24.99 to stream it.
Oh, I'll rent it.
So it's on video on demand.
I'll rent it if you want to come over. I'll watch it. Please Don't Destroy, not Do Not Destroy. Please Don't Destroy is the sort of trio of like these three kind of nerdy guys who do SNL right now.
Okay.
Dakota John. They always do like a skit where they're sitting in the office, and then the host of the show always comes in like, "Hey guys, just want to see. Do you guys want to do something with me this week?" And there's always sort of like it's a bit about them coming up with a sketch it's like a running gag kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Dakota Johnson comes in, and they're all talking about it, and then they do like a thing where they mention being Nepo babies or something, and Dakota Johnson's a Nepo baby, and the two of the three of the team are, and they all put like rings. I think it was fuzzy in my brain. They put like rings into the center of the thing, and it's like they do like a Green Lantern-esque chant about being Nepo babies. Like
that's great.
It was really, really funny. But like Dakota Johnson is one of those where like some of the movies she's made and the little amount of work she put in, like it just they're so bad. Like Madam Web, for instance, of course, and
yeah,
there was something else before that. There's some movies where she's just terrible, and that's the Nepo, that she's like the Nepo baby of the moment for me, where I'm like, I have not seen you. She may have great work in her.
I think she was the one that jumped off the Nepo baby shitstorm.
Oh yeah,
because it was all Madam Web. It was around Madam Web, and then it moved from there.
That makes sense, because Madam Web is terrible, and she does not bring it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna bring it, bring it. And I think there are other people in that movie who bring it, and like the movie's so bad that it's hard to see that. But like, I think there's some really good actors and really good performances in that movie. But like, she is so bad, and there's a number of I just think it's things like that. When I see a Nepo baby who is not putting in the work, that's when it pisses me off. It's like you're just standing up there doing like making money off your parents' name, basically, and it's just really sad to me. All right, well we're done here, I guess. Joel on True.
Yeah. Just cut it off right there. We're done here.
We've been mumbling for like 30 minutes about stuff that isn't even, we're just going. So I'm like, we got to get out of here. What are we doing?
Yeah, man.
What are we doing?
Live long and prosper.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.